Go figure, the famous swordsman raid ends up getting taken down by a little bit of a Bob jiggle. I mean, they kind of painted that picture last episode. This guy's like, hot girl, hot girl, hot girl, hot. Oh my gosh, this girl's like smoking hot. Like, he is just all over Amelia. But no, like, he gets taken down because he figures that Amelia is going to react to him touching her bobs. And it's great because when he first touches, it's like Amelia does the whole like, what thing? Like a really cute little squeak there. A little what thing? And like, it's not that she's going, what, you just touched me there. It's her literally going, why is he wide open? Like, her reaction isn't what he did. Her reaction is what he's not doing, which is guarding himself. So she's like, okay, okay, you're going to leave yourself wide open. I'm going to go for it. Hey, why didn't you react? You were wide open. Like, what do you want me to do? Oh, because you touched me? Like, what does that matter? Like, I love his reaction. It's just like, you're not acting like you're supposed to be acting. Like, this is beyond my comprehension. Dude, why are you letting her outside? People are going to take advantage of her like I literally just did. Super sulk, pissed off. What nigga? Beatrice is like, no, Super, stop. No, you can't do it. It was a goofy little bit there, but I mean, hats off to Amelia. She managed to take down this guy who's like, again, the origins of this like ability of swordsmanship. It's just like this crazily powerful guy. Amelia just took him down, but the sucky thing is that it's not like the other ones. I mean, I think that sort of set that wrong expectations with the previous exam, that all he had to do was solve the puzzle and then everybody got to go to the next level, which was surprising to him. He's like, is everybody able to be here? That seems odd. Maybe only certain people can read the books. No, everybody's able to open the books. Like, why are we all able to come here? I'm kind of curious if Raid himself is getting to decide who goes through, whereas like normally it's supposed to be everybody. So he's just like keeping everybody else there. Like, just as he's being petty. Like, is he just being petty, or is this exam different than everything else? Again, he's not letting anybody else by. Now, I don't expect everybody to get by. So I don't know if Subaru's going to figure out how to get past, and then it's just going to be Subaru and Amelia has to go alone, or if something else is going to happen here. Something else is going to allow them to get by. It might come down to them just beating Raid. I think that's what it's going to be, because with Amelia, it was they set expectations, a rule, and they got past that rule. Whereas Subaru and potentially Julius, I don't know, potentially, they're going to actually defeat him. I don't think so, because this guy seems to be extremely powerful. I mean, they're pointing out in this episode, he is of the level of Reinhard. And they're pointing out the idea of there only being like one individual through each of these countries that is this powerful. This is an oddity here, which ultimately comes to Shala pointing out that, I mean, this is pretty much the origins of Reinhard. This is the beginning of the Astria family right here. So it obviously makes sense why he's that powerful. But this is a powerful individual that these individuals shouldn't be able to figure out how to beat. Again, with Amelia, it was just because he expected her to be thrown off because he's being a perv. And go figure, he has to be wielding the chopsticks. This is so stupid. Oh, we had to do a chopstick fighter sequence. That was goofy. I mean, overall, the fight sequence itself with Julius, the earlier one especially, was a really good little segment there. Great little fight sequence. Just goofy that it's literally sword versus chopsticks. He even grabs the sword at the very end, the very tip of the sword, and just snaps it. It's like, how impossible can you get? Now, here's the oddity here. Getting into how powerful Raid was here. Obviously very powerful. He wasn't even trying with Julius. Like, this was an easy task for him. The odd thing here, the curious thing here, is his statement about how long you've been wielding the sword, Julius. You're weak. I hope you haven't been training for very long, because god dang, you're boring. I've only been wielding it for, what does it say, like 3 months? I don't know. He has to be talking about the sword. How long you've been wielding the sword? Shouldn't be, hopefully not for very long. I only wield it for like a few months. I don't think he's talking about the chopsticks. I think he's talking about a sword. Which, that's crazy. Now, there was a question mark here towards the later part when Shala is bringing up that it is Raid. Like, yeah, it's definitely him. It's him. You don't understand. It's him. She's saying that he can't be killed, which kind of implies something there, what I'm not going to get into in a moment. The question mark that I had last episode was not necessarily of him coming back or whatever, them resurrecting him, but when is this Raid? When is he? Is he just a Raid of a certain period of time, a certain point? Because again, when he first comes out, he's like, God, I just got done with, drinking a bunch the night before. I got a headache. Kind of implies that like this is a set point that they resurrected him, or at least he's summoned there from a certain time period, and that's why he could potentially have just learned the sword.
Again, only have wielding it for a couple months. Yeah, 3 months. It's been 3 months for me. That's crazy to think about that. This guy has only been wielding the sword for 3 months, and he's that powerful. This implies this guy is just like naturally powerful. And again, that could imply the idea of him picking up the chopsticks and then suddenly mastering the chopsticks too. I like how Beatrice like he's a master of these chopstick things, and Subaru's like, no, that's not how you use chopsticks. You can't be a master of chopsticks like that. It's crazy. It was a crazy little battle there, and again, literally wiped the floor with Julius. Now, another really crazy thing happened during this fight, and that was Anastasia getting very frantic, very frantic and trying to protect Julius. Now, at first I was thinking, well, is it protecting Julius, or is it just her, like, realizing we're going to lose and I have to get past this in order to get to the answer that we need, so I can't have Julius lose in this fight. I got to finish this while he's still fighting. No, and Subaru is picking up on it too. Anastasia here was panicking, trying to protect Julius. And even Raid at some point was like, oh, you're going to have to do better than that to protect your little knight here. If you want to save your little handsome boy here, you're going to have to try a little harder than that. You're not going to hit me, whatever. It seems to apply everybody, Subaru, Raid, everybody was implying that Anastasia was trying to protect Julius, or was trying to save his life. And even at the very end there, him telling Julius, you want to go cry in her lap. He's obviously, again, seeing that there is a bond between the two of these individuals. Now, the question mark here is, why is she panicking? I'm pretty much, again, 100% sold that this is Eridona. The way they implied it is that Eridona is currently in control of Anastasia's body. She is currently, away asleep. That's why she's trying to do this. She's trying to bring back Anastasia and give her body back. So this has to be Eridona. So why is Eridona panicking and trying to save Julius's life? My assumption here is one of two things here. It could be specifically that Eridona themselves is, not wanting something to happen to Julius while they're doing this to try to bring back Anastasia. If I bring back Anastasia and I bring her back to a dead knight here, it'll feel like I sacrificed him in order to do something that she didn't ask me to do. So it's basically Eridona trying to fix the situation. The other thing here I'm kind of assuming here is that it could be that Eridona knows how much Julius means to Anastasia. It could be even further than that Eridona knows that Anastasia loves Julius and could, again, not want her to come back to a dead love interest, basically. I have to save him, otherwise she's going to be heartbroken. Again, Eridona loves Anastasia. And if they know that, Julius is important to Anastasia, they're going to want to save Julius. So, again, kind of all comes together in an interesting way there. Again, there's the other thing that kind of assumes that this is Eridona because, again, she's using magic. If it was Anastasia, my assumption is that Anastasia doesn't know how to use that. It's just that Eridona is utilizing that gate. Again, which we see here. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. Using all those spells and then suddenly she's like just passing out. Like, she cannot take it. Even Subaru's like, dude, Anastasia, you gotta stop. You cannot use those spells. That is not good. You're gonna kill yourself there. Very, very interesting little panic session there. And again, just a look on her face. Like, that's a panic. Like, I gotta fix the situation. I gotta stop this. And yeah, freaking Ray's just dragging him along the ground, just mopping the floor with him. But yeah, after the fight with Julius, we have Amelia step up. Right off the bat, she's like, by the way, you said if you move, you lose, so that we win? No, I didn't mean that literally. Like, that wasn't even a rule. It's just me sounding cool, whatever. You just have to make a bunch of really mean comments. Oh, you're a woman, you wouldn't understand this kind of stuff. But no, this is interesting because, yes, Amelia goes, okay, I can't beat you. So can I just ask a favor? Can we make this even so that we can actually win? If I actually make you move, can we win? The fact that she managed to talk him into that was interesting. And again, that kind of is going to the fact that he's like enamored by her. Like, oh gosh, you're just great, woman. Whatever. You're asking these bold questions. You're the biggest idiot I've ever seen since Tricia. Question mark. Who's Tricia? I don't think we've ever mentioned a Tricia. I mean, it sounds very similar to Ricia, but I don't think that's who they're talking about because I don't think that she would have known her. Teresia Astria is like, she was with Wilhelm, but that's not that far back. Because again, we're talking about like, what, 300, 400 years that, Raid was around? I don't think it's her. It's got to be somebody else. It's very similar in name, but I don't think it's her. Maybe that'll be somebody that they bring up later on. I mean, they brought up like 4 people this episode that I'm like, I don't recall if I've ever mentioned this person. But yeah, that's when we have the fight between Raid and Amelia. Again, crazy freaking unlimited blade work. She summoned like a crap ton of weapons, just going crazy on him. And at some point, him getting that little shot. No, it wasn't just a slide up. It was literally like he had to do a password. It wasn't a slide to unlock. It was literally he was going for a password swipe all the way up the front of it. Oh, that was great. And then yeah, like I said, I love how it seems like she's going, "What? You just touched me there?" No, it's literally her going, "What? You're open? Okay, fine then." Like full on sledgehammer on top of his head. It was a great little ending to it. And freaking Subaru just getting pissed off for her sake. But yeah, he says that, who's up next before we pop over to Ram. I love Ram's response. This is like, what? So you came back here because you feel dejected? Like you lost and so you're just running back to me? Oh, man, you're just kind of a loser, whatever. But yeah, well, they're trying to figure out who this individual is. They brought up 3 people specifically. The top general of the Valencia Empire, the Blue Lightning, Cecil Segmon, the Mad Prince of the Holy Kingdom of Gustico, and Kararagi has the Admirer Hannibal. The one that kind of sticks out the most to me is the fact that one's called the Mad Prince, but they're part of the Holy Kingdom. It kind of seems like that doesn't sound like that fits, but interesting individuals. I'm curious. I'm assuming that eventually we're probably going to meet these individuals, at least a couple of them at some point. So, but yeah, of course, we have Beatrice has to point out the fact that he's wearing the traditional attire of Kararagi and is a master of chopsticks. I love that. Before, yes, Shala decides to wake up and mentions that they know who exactly that is, that they are, of course, Raid. Now, here's the interesting thing. She says that you can't kill him. What was the exactly thing that she said? He really can't be killed. He came back to life to fondle my boobs. Now, she could be saying specifically that the assumption is that somebody killed Raid at some point, and now he's back. That he can't be killed. Not necessarily that she killed him or knows who killed him, just that, he just can't be killed. And then he came back to fondle my boobs. I don't know. After the whole thing with Amelia, I don't doubt it. And again, the fact that he's literally, upon seeing Shala, was like sexy. Like, this chick is sexy. I get with this girl. So it doesn't doubt in my mind that he's after her. It seemed like Subaru kind of assumed this was going to happen just because of how this whole fight and him losing was going to mess with him. The fact that in front of Anastasia, he has failed. He has failed as a knight to defeat this individual. It's probably going to affect him in some way. And sure enough, he gets back there. He's gone. Now, we find out later on is that Julius seemed to have known this was going to be Raid, and that it seemed like he wanted to prove himself to defeat Raid. As we see with all the flashbacks, this is something that's weighing upon him, the idea that, yes, back here, when they were choosing somebody, they chose Reinhardt. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't chosen. There's no place for him. And now he's running into this individual that is Raid Austria. It does seem like he really badly wants to defeat him to prove something. But no, the second fight was even worse, because again, it seems like Raid Austria, like, legit knows why Julius is there. Like, he knows by Julius coming back there alone, he's there to prove something. And based on the fact that he's the knight of Anastasia and he failed, Raid's like just pushing upon him. You ain't the one, dude. You ain't the one. You're not going to wield this sword. You're not that strong. You're not the main character. Get out of here. You're not going to be choosing. You're not even good enough to be a follower. Just some really nasty words. I mean, there's a side of me that kind of feels that this is a reality check that Raid's given Julius, which I think is a good thing. You're not going to be as strong as everybody. No matter how good you think you are at something, there's always going to be somebody that's going to be better than you. So never expect that you're going to be able to take on everybody. But no, Raid ends up pulling the Excalibur chopsticks. Chopstickabur, I guess? Chopstickabur? Pulls an Excalibur with the chopsticks before we cut over to Subaru, taking Julius back on his back. This is a tough little scene here. I've always liked the relationship between Subaru and Julius. It does feel like the two of them have become like bros, even though they always like bicker at each other, even though they're like super soon at each other, even though they constantly are at each other's throats. There's a mutual respect here. And I think right here, even more so than ever, I'm seeing from Subaru's side why he respects Julius so much. I think there's in general a respect just because Subaru has failed so much and Julius managed to show him the errors of his ways. You act like an idiot, and Julius put you in your place. But I think there is sort of the return here in the fact that he's seeing Julius do the same exact thing. He's seeing that while Julius was out there fighting Raid, he's doing exactly what I was doing. And right here is a sign of that. He's so badly wanting to keep standing up, even though he knows he's powerless. Even though he knows he's powerless, he has to keep doing it. You just got the crap beat out of you. You were recovering down there, and you still walked up these stairs to go back up there and do it again. You knew you were going to lose, but you keep getting up over and over again, just like me back there. I had to get out of my system. I had to keep standing up to you back there because even though I knew I was weak, I had to prove something. It's a stubbornness. It's like a total stubbornness that he kept pushing himself, and now he sees Julius is doing the same thing. I think there's like a mutual respect here and almost seeing like himself in Julius that I really like. But I still, at the same time, I feel for Julius here. Like there's a mad state of like a pride. There's a pride here where Julius is like, no, I can't have you take me down the stairs. Like, let me go. Dude, I said stop. I said stop. I think there's like an element here where I almost wish that Subaru didn't help him. I think in the end, it's thankful that Julius ends up accepting him. But there is a side of me that almost feels like I'm surprised that Julius accepted him because he was dead set on that. No, I have my pride to consider. I had to walk down there and stand before my lady. I can't have you carry me down there. It's going to look bad. She's going to feel that I'm weak. I can't look weak in front of her. It's really what it is. But again, I think it really comes down to pride. He's full of pride. He can't take it. And again, Subaru's telling him, dude, I lost my pride a long time ago. I was in the same boots as you, and I lost my pride a long time ago, and I can't let you walk down that alone. I kind of wonder that statement. I figure exactly what he said towards the end there, and it kind of gets cut off. So I'm kind of wondering if there's a little bit different way that it's worded in the light novel. It almost feels like Subaru was going to say something, but he stops and says, of course, I can't let you go down the stairs alone. I won't talk as if I know how you feel deep down, but for now, there's no need for you to shuffle yourself down alone. I can spare a shoulder. I won't see it as a favor. I won't let you go down these stairs alone. Again, he was trying to say something in the middle there, and he stops himself. But again, I kind of feel like it is an aspect of, I think I know what you're going through. I'm not going to claim that I do, but I think I know what you're going through. And I just can't let you do this alone because I have had to go alone. I kind of wonder if a lot of it's connected to Rem. Because, yeah, Rem, when that whole situation happened with him with Rem and he wanted to run away alone, there was a defeat that happened there. He was absolutely defeated. And I think that was like shortly after the whole stuff happened with him and Julius, because that was in the same town, if I remember correctly. And then he goes off and gets beat several times by Pedal Goose. So I'm assuming that's probably what he's talking about there. But there's a sense here where I feel like Subaru just doesn't want Julius to go through the same thing he did alone. Either way, it was a cool little scene there. I like the connection between the two of them at that moment. And you had to cap off that scene with Julius admitting that Subaru inspired him in some way. He made enemies of everybody in that room, but I was moved by him. It kind of makes me kind of wonder what type of person Julius was before he seen Subaru at that moment. Was he the type of person who would not stand out in front of people? Was he the one that would stay in line? Is basically seeing Subaru helped him have the courage to be more bold. I kind of wonder. But yeah, that's pretty much the episode. I'm curious what will happen and how they'll overcome Raid. I'm assuming they're going to have to work together, or at least, I guess, figure out a weakness. There's potentially, again, my assumption is this is a earlier Raid. This isn't like the Raid at his death or whatever. So there potentially could have been something discovered about him as a weakness that they may be able to exploit that he himself, even at this point, doesn't know about. My crazy theories here. They're going to have to figure out something of a weakness that they can use on him, because I don't think they're going to win just by pure skill and brute force. They got to figure out something around it. Again, like with Amelia. She only won because he expected her to react. I know what they're going to do. They throw Shala at him and just throw Shala at him with she doesn't have to be naked. Just throw Shala at him, and then he'll panic and go, "Ooh, it's you. You're sexy," and then just attack him or something like that. That's my assumption. That's my crazy. Right? She's gonna be panicking the entire time, but hey, it might actually work. We'll see though. But anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 72. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. Until next time, y'all take care.